Confident, loving boundaries for moms. Hello, confidence community. How's it going today? It's Amy Colombo, the confidence coach for nurse coaches, a board certified nurse coach, EFT practitioner, single mother to three boys. So, boy, do I know about confident, loving boundaries. It's really been a journey. Let me know how you feel about boundaries, what your comfort level is. So from 1 to 2 to 3, 3 being totally comfortable, totally got this, or is it a 1, like I don't got this and boundaries are so hard for me? I have really upped the game in boundaries and Dr. Becky Kennedy's book, Good Inside. I have read it twice and I'm about to read it a third time. She has changed everything for me in reframing boundaries, in punishments and rewards, all of the things. I would say that probably one of my most favorite side effects that I wasn't expecting from becoming an entrepreneur was really becoming a better mother to my kids. It's really upped the game in my parenting. Let's just start off with a powerful question. Moms, how many of you have ever felt guilty for setting a boundary? Maybe you've avoided it altogether. Maybe you've rescinded it after you've given it because of how your child has behaved. Just think about that. If you feel a little called out, that's okay. You're not alone. That's why we're here. Boy, do I get it. As women, we've been conditioned to make others comfortable, to put ourselves last, and to be the easygoing one. But here's the truth. Confident boundaries aren't about being harsh or selfish. They're actually about love and sturdiness and leadership, especially in your parenting. And when we set them well, we teach not just our kids, but everyone in our lives how to treat us with respect. And that includes you. So if you're having trouble setting boundaries with others, you want to take a good look at how are you with setting boundaries with yourself. If you are even uncomfortable with keeping promises to yourself, then this is going to be hard in dynamics and in relationships. But today I'm sharing the 5 key principles of boundaries that will change the way you show up as a mom, as a woman, and as a leader in your own life. Okay. So first of all, boundaries. What are they? What are they not? This is the mindset work, the reframing work, really understanding what they are. So boundaries are a gift. They are loving. They are not selfish. They are not mean. They are not a wall. Boundaries actually forge a deeper connection with you and someone else. And why is that? Because they are a representation of who you truly are and your core values and what's important to you. This is important. So when you establish a firm boundary with someone, and sometimes it involves saying no. Sometimes it involves a disagreement. Sometimes it involves feelings on their part. You are standing strong in what you believe, in what's healthy and right for you and your family. And that lets other people know who you are and what you believe and how they should treat you. So a boundary is not a wall. It is a bridge to a better relationship. Mindset reframing is key. Instead of seeing boundaries as selfish, reframe them as acts of love for yourself and for others. When you are well rested, clear minded, and fulfilled, you can truly give your best to your kids, your patients, your clients, and your loved ones. Boundaries create freedom and they allow you to live in alignment with who you truly are. They make kids feel safe, not controlled, even if they're saying that. Just like children thrive with clear limits, you thrive when you honor your own needs. So just imagine, right? Instead of waiting till the last minute and telling your child, it's time for bed, you have to go to bed, you never get to bed. Hey, it's bedtime and we need our rest to grow our bodies healthy and strong so that when they protest, which is their job to protest, you hold that boundary sturdy and strong because you are the leader in their lives. You are the adult. I always say that one of the hardest things about being a mom is having to always be the adult in the relationship, right? What is one boundary you know would make you feel more supported, but you've been afraid to set? And just think about that with yourself. I know for me, it's eating sweets at night. Oh, God, still working on that one. That one is a real tough one for me. Sweets are very, very emotional. And as much as I don't want to do them, I just keep crossing that boundary. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful and I'm still on the journey. So we don't have to be perfect in this journey of learning and implementing boundaries that are clear and concise and sturdy and are in alignment with your core values. You don't have to be perfect. All right. Holding the boundary, but validating the feeling. I think this is where moms get most tripped up. We have this false belief, again, as women, we have to be easygoing, we have to please, that we have to make our kids happy, that we're responsible for their feelings. And this might sound really weird to say, but you're actually not. Your child is going to have their feelings, they're going to have their thoughts, and that is their job in their human body, right? They came in. We don't control anyone else and how they feel inside themselves. So we need to be in control of what those boundaries are. We need to set them sturdily and strong. And, okay, this is an and hold a loving, sturdy space for their feelings. Okay. And what this looks like, I will just give an example. Just the other day, my son was sick. He stayed home from school. The following morning, we said we'd see how he felt. He woke up and he was upset that he woke up feeling better because he knew he had to go to school. So, what ensued after that was he was upset. He was having his feelings. And I, knowing that he gets to have his feelings, that it's not my job to turn them around and make him feel happy, I actually confirmed his feelings. So when he woke up, he was just in a bad mood. And I even said to him, "Hey, I bet you're kind of upset that you woke up feeling good this morning because you probably wanted to feel bad so you could stay home from school." And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah." And what that does is that doesn't encourage the bad, right? Like the feelings and the discord. It actually makes him feel really seen and heard because kids don't know what they're feeling. They just know how uncomfortable it is inside their bodies and they behave out their feelings. So kids are born with all the feelings and none of the skills to manage them. And where we've gotten it wrong, we've believed as moms that it's our job to make them feel happy, that we want them to see the value in the boundary, right? Like he should know that it's good for him to go to school. No, he actually doesn't really need to know that. He doesn't need to agree. He can believe what he wants to believe. He can be angry about it. And that is actually normal. I can actually empathize with those feelings without swimming in the pool with him and getting caught up in them. So that morning, what I did was I carried him out to the living room because he did not want to walk to the living room. And he threw himself on the floor and proceeded to have, right, like a tantrum or a meltdown. I've got a 9-year-old. So, what I did in that moment was I let him have his feelings. There's nothing wrong with the behavior as long as he's not hurting someone else or hurting himself. So, I let him have his feelings on the floor and I stayed about an arm's length away. And what I did while I was holding the boundary of you're going to school, right? Because I wasn't going to rescind on that boundary. And what do we normally do in that? In that, just think of yourself when your kids tantrum, right? It makes you feel really uncomfortable. So, part of holding boundaries with your kids is really learning how to hold a firm boundary and let them have their feelings. Your job is not to make them happy. Your job is to let them ride those waves because kids will ride the waves. They will ride them till they're done. I believe that as adults, we're just not used to right? Because think of how you were raised and how your emotions were handled. If nobody held space for your own emotions, you may be an adult and not know how to handle your own emotions. So, how are you supposed to hold space for your kids' emotions, right? It makes sense. But when we're doing this, your first job is getting clear on what that boundary is and selling yourself on it. That is the first step. So, knowing what your boundaries are, knowing why you're doing them, and knowing that your kid does not need to agree or be happy about it. That is like the magic secret sauce to holding boundaries with your kids. So, he continued to melt down on the floor, and I modeled what I wanted him to do, which was regulate and calm down. Kids respond to what we do. They're watching us, they're learning, they're like sponges. They don't respond to what we say, right? So if I tell him just take a deep breath, just calm down in the middle of a tantrum, no, he's gonna get more angry, right? It's only gonna escalate him. So I just told him, honey, it's okay to have your feelings. I'm over here. And wow, those are some big feelings. I'm going to take a deep breath right now. So I'm going to put my hand on my body and take a deep breath. And that's what I did. And I modeled instead of saying, take a deep breath, right? Then after like another couple of minutes, I just said, would you like mommy to put her hand on your back? Right? And some of you might be like, oh my God, you're encouraging the behavior. No, I'm using nervous system calming techniques, hands on body, very calming and settling, especially to a child, right? Just think of how we soothe our kids to sleep. So I just said, okay, I'm going to rub your back, which I did, and I'm going to just take deep breaths. And he calmed down. He calmed down and he went to the table and he ate his breakfast after that. He wasn't happy. He wasn't smiling, but he was cooperative in that moment. Because why? Because mom was holding the boundary. He knows now. He has tested me to the limits. And when you start really doing this and getting serious about boundaries, your kids are used to what they're used to. So if you've always like reneged on the boundary as soon as they pull a tantrum, they're going to keep testing you. And if you consistently start holding a boundary and they realize that no matter how much they tantrum, you're not changing your mind, they will get the message quicker and they will start cooperating because they will learn like mom means business, right? And here's a little secret. No, they don't like them. They're not going to say, thank you, mom, for holding that boundary. I appreciate you like making me do the things I don't want to do. Your kids are never going to say that to you. However, we are keeping them safe and they can trust our sturdy leadership. And kids are always looking for that. Even if they don't know it, they're sensing it and sniffing it out energetically. And they want to know that we've got them. So when you start holding boundaries, even if they don't like it and don't agree with it, they will feel very safe around you. They will know what to expect. So after my son went to the dining room table and started eating, and I just sat there with him and he started telling me like, that he doesn't want to go to school and he hates school. And I was just like, yeah, again, validating, confirming, yeah, I get it. And then comes in, and you know what else I know? I know that you're really strong and that you can handle this. You're so much stronger than you think. Encouragement. I believe in you, right? And maybe they're thinking, like, you believe in me that I can go to school. Encouragement is so vital. I mean, I just got feedback from adults, women, every single one of them in my group. I asked the question, how do you typically like to be supported? Every one of them, without a doubt, encouragement, encouragement, encouragement. Kids want encouragement. So we're not bright siding, we're not trying to pull him out of his feelings, but we're encouraging him. Hey, I know you can do this. I know this is hard, even if you don't want to do it, even if you don't understand. I know that I'm keeping you safe and going to school is best for you. And we're going to go ahead and do that. So hold the boundary, sell yourself on the boundary first, decide what that is, and hold it with love and sturdy leadership. Okay. While allowing them to disagree, allowing your child to not like it. Don't expect them to like it. Don't expect them to be happy. Let them be unhappy. They're allowed. Okay. And now, who do you want to be, right? Being the sturdy leader. That is what it's all about with loving boundaries, being the sturdy leader. Kids feel secure when parents lead with confidence. You teach them how to treat you by how firmly you hold your own boundary. And this goes with other people as well. If a child senses that you're uncertain about a rule, they will push harder. Remember, I told you that once they start to learn that you're not going to sway your decision, they will actually push less and they will start cooperating more. But in the beginning, it can be a little bit tricky. Okay, something that's really helpful for me that I bring in with my clients, and especially when I'm doing this with my kid, because when you first start doing this and you start just allowing them to have their feelings, it doesn't feel like anything. It's a new skill, right? And it feels a little strange. You feel like, is this okay? Like, shouldn't I be pulling them out? Should I really just let them be upset? Should I just let them and validate that their big wish, right? Your big wish, you wish you didn't have to go to school. Like, should I really validate that? Yes, because they feel seen and heard. And that's what secretly is underneath all of us, all of our fears of what other people say and think in the world is we just want to feel seen and heard at our core. And that stems from childhood. So when you validate your child's big wish in his mind, like, I bet you wish you didn't even wake up well today. I bet you wish you were sick, right? That sounds so strange, but they feel so seen and heard. Another example of this was my son came home, wanted to do home, not wanted, came home, didn't want to do homework. Another very typical thing that we deal with as moms. And I used to always say, you need to do homework, homework this, homework, and we got to get the homework done, da 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 da. And then the one day I just said, oh, I said, you wish you could play your video game right now, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, you just spent 6 hours at school and that wasn't easy, but you made it through. And now you just want freedom. Like you just want to play. And he's like, yeah. He was going, yeah. And I just started rubbing his back again, nervous system calming techniques. So there's nothing wrong with doing that for your child. And he just picked up the pencil and started cooperating. He started doing his homework. He wasn't happy about it, but there's something magical when your child feels seen and heard and validated. And what are we doing when we're trying to make them happy, when we're trying to convince, when we're trying to make them see what we see and see the value in the boundary that we're setting? We are actually telling them what you're thinking and what you're feeling is wrong. You should think and feel this way. That is the subliminal message that they are taking in and that all my clients are carrying with them in adulthood and doing so much work to heal and overcome and actually learn how to tune into their bodies, into what they're feeling inside themselves. So there's nothing better that you can do than actually validate the big wish, actually validate the thing that they want to do and can't. Because how beautiful is that? That you're that sturdy and strong and confident in that moment that you're telling your child, I know that you don't want to do this. And I get that you wish you didn't have to do it. And that makes so much sense. And I'm your mom, and it's my job to keep you safe. It's my job to make you do things that are healthy for you, even when you don't understand or don't want to do them. I promise I would never make you do anything that would hurt you. And they'll just be like, huh. Again, we can't expect our children to validate our sturdy, strong, confident boundaries. So, really, the key to boundaries is selling yourself on the boundary, getting clear as to what that is, right? They're going to do the homework, or there's homework after school, or whatever the snack is, right? It needs to be a healthy snack and not a junk food snack, or an hour of screen time and not more. And then sell yourself on why this is good for them, why this is good for you. And then take a look at your own behavior and start modeling that same behavior for them, right? If we pull screens away from them, we need to be away from our screens as well, because what sturdy, confident boundaries do for us and our kids is actually forge a deeper connection. And what the devices are doing is actually detracting, distracting, and taking away connection. So you want to be a good role model. So again, you want to get clear, sell yourself on your boundary, connect them to your core values. Know that as a mom, you are actually in alignment with who you want to be as a mom, with the family values that you want to instill and implement in your kids. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to hold that boundary firm. And what I want to tell you is, you need to take care of you in that moment, because you're going to get triggered. You're going to get nervous. You're going to feel stressed out when your kids get stressed out. And your job is to be sturdy, strong, and calm. So, whatever you need to do, putting your hand on your heart, just like I did, said, I'm going to take some deep breaths. Yes, I was modeling that for him. And I was doing it for myself in that moment, because you will catch yourself getting annoyed, getting pissed off. Like, I'm a mom that gets pissed off and starts yelling and screaming and cursing. So like when I start hearing that in my head, I'm like, you've got this, Amy. This is okay. Like, this is what you want to do. Your job. I am such a fan of your job, my job. Your job, my job. And what really trips us up as parents is when we think our job is to make our kids happy. That's not your job. It's not our job, guys. We're not supposed to make them happy. Our job is to be the sturdy leader. Our job is to set that firm boundary and validate their uncomfortable feelings and emotions. And what you're teaching them, you are teaching them how to regulate their emotions. You are teaching them resilience. You're not pulling them out of an emotion. You're not telling them they shouldn't feel it. You're actually riding that wave with them. And what I said to my son the other day, I said, this is a really big feeling in your body, right? This is a really big feeling in your body. How big is it, right? And we rated how big it was. And he said it was as big as a mansion. That's what he said. It was as big as a mansion. And I said, okay, I get it. That's a really big feeling in your body. I just want you to know I'm here and I'm not scared, right? Because they want to see that their big feelings that are overwhelming them are not overwhelming their sturdy leader of a parent. And that is everything. And when I sat with my son, this was actually a different circumstance where he had a big tantrum actually that went on for quite some time. And I sat with him. By the end of the tantrum, it had gone down to a shed. So it started as a mansion, and then the feeling went down to a shed, and then it just eventually went away. But really doing this kind of work with your kids is, it's emotional mastery work. And what it's teaching them is that they can handle frustration. They can handle doing something that they don't want to do because they trust their sturdy leader is steering them in the right direction. So, how's that going to translate when they get older and they want to eat healthy for themselves? They want to not eat sugar at night. They want to exercise. They want to start holding boundaries and commitments and promises to themselves. They will have the tools and the skills to do that. They will be able to manage their frustration along the way and know that they don't need to be scared of their feelings, because their feelings are normal, and their feelings, they're just going to ride that wave, are eventually going to dissipate and something else is going to come in. Another key concept here is progress, practice, not perfection. So you don't need to be perfect. And repair is really important. And I've gotten really good at repair with my child. And what that looks like is when I do yell, scream, and curse and lose my temper, because yes, it does happen still, even after you have the information, even after you're doing it. I've gotten so darn good at this. I'm so damn proud of myself, but I still trip up. And what I do is I calm myself down, and then I come back to him, and I always take responsibility. Say, hey, mommy got upset before in the kitchen and she cursed at you. And that must have felt scary. And then he'll just say, like, yeah, I didn't like that, whatever he says. Mommy, sorry. And mommy wants you to know that it's not your fault. And mommy's doing the work to stay calmer in situations like that. So your feelings, your triggers, your curse words, your slip ups, your mistakes as a parent are never their fault. Never, ever. And it always serves them and you to take responsibility for your reactions and responses. And this is coming from a mother who truly believed that they were the problem, that if they just behaved, then I wouldn't XYZ. And that is not true. We are always 100% responsible for our actions. So just like we are not responsible for their feelings, we are responsible for how we treat them in the process, right? And this goes for our kids and everyone else. And how do you want to show up? You want to show up respectfully. You want to show up with empathy and compassion and care. And you also are human and you don't need to be perfect. So, repair, taking responsibility, huge. I just want to review and summarize. Boundaries are a gift. Boundaries are not a border. Boundaries are sturdy, confident, loving. They are in alignment with your core values, your most authentic self, with who you are and who you want to be more of as a woman, as a mother, as a coach, as just a human in this world. Boundaries are the most loving thing that you can do. They forge deeper connection. There's authenticity and realness in them. You're no longer doing things out of obligation and duty. And when you hold them with your kids, you're becoming more of that sturdy leader, that confident parent that you actually want to be, that can keep them safe, that can actually validate their feelings as well as hold the boundary. And that is, I think, where the gentle parenting has kind of gone a little too far. We can hold space for those feelings and still hold the boundary and make the decisions. I think parents get really tripped up because boundaries are decisions. That's what they are. They're decisions. They're your decision. And we want to give our kids decisions, but they don't get to decide if they're going to school or not, but they can decide what shirt they want to wear to school. They don't get to decide if they're getting clean tonight, but they can decide if they want a bath or a shower. They don't get to decide that they get to stay up all night on their screen, but they can decide if they want to shut down the screen right now or in 5-minute grace period. That's a choice that you want to give your kids with the sturdy boundary behind it. So boundaries are loving, they're confident. Kids need them. No, they won't thank you for them, but they will become better humans because of your sturdy boundaries. You will be modeling that for them. And I just want to say that I know all of this sounds so great in theory, but sometimes putting it into action in your own life is another story. So I want to leave you with a powerful call to action to take me up on a 1-hour coaching session. And what we will work on is one boundary that you are struggling to set. And I will give you all the tools and techniques to be able to get clear and sturdy on that boundary. I will give you a boundary script if it involves another person and having a conversation with your child or with a client, and you will leave feeling confident and sturdy in that boundary decision that you have made. This is a special offer for first-time clients. It's a $95 60-minute boundary setting coaching session that I will bring you through. I hope you go forward and become the boundary boss with yourself, your child, your clients, your relationships that you're meant to be. And take me up on this offer because it's a gift. All you need is this 1 hour to change the game in your boundary setting, and it will literally change your life and especially your parenting experience with your kids. All right. Bye, everybody.